What is going on, everybody? We will start momentarily. I'm going to post a poll in a minute as well. I don't actually know what happens to the poll if nobody... there's like 13 people who are in here before everyone joins, but I feel like more people kind of flow in once the notification goes out. So I'm going to post a poll in a minute. We're going to vote on if we want Best Ball Mania or we want like a private draft with just you guys. I'll do whichever one gets the most votes. And then we'll... I have two. I'm on the clock in only 2 leagues right now. I'm in probably 15 slow drafts right now, so I'm surprised I'm only on the clock on 2 of them. But fire away any questions. Let me know if there's any sort of feedback in the mic. That happened recently. I didn't check before doing this if it had any feedback. Let me know if there's any crackling noise. I can fix that. Hopefully it's not the case though. So okay, we're going to post it. Answer that question for me. What would you rather see? Best Ball Mania. So Best Ball Mania is the tournament, the big tournament. For Underdog, private would mean just I post the link in here. We draft amongst the 11 other people that want to do that. I'll cut it off at I don't know, in a few minutes. So first team on the board. Haven't really looked this one over yet. We're set on quarterback. We got Jalen Hurts. We got Joe Burrow. Looks like I have a Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert stack. And we've got 3 running backs, 4 receivers. I would say we're probably a little bit thin at wide receiver. A-Chain's the best value, but I would say it probably makes more sense for us to go with Gallup. We need a little bit more wide receiver help on that team. And then we will do the other one here in a second. Looks like it's 50-50 right now. 14 votes in. Maybe we'll cap it at I don't know, 30 if we get to 30 votes or something like that, or maybe just 5 minutes. We'll give you guys 5 minutes, whichever one's ahead after that. Other team, I think I did a pick for this one earlier today. Fields, we got Jacobs, Javonte Williams, Alvin Kamara, boatload of wide receivers, and then we've got Dallas Goedert. Ugh, kind of looks gross for... I guess Zay Jones would probably be the best one. I actually lowered Zay Jones recently in the rankings, so I'm surprised he shows up as the top one. We could go with Wilson, but that's kind of a reach at quarterback. We can probably wait. I guess we do have Javonte Williams. We don't have another receiver there, so I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense. Running back, no. So yeah, I guess we'll just take Zay Jones. I guess. Take him, call it a day. All right. In a few minutes, we'll end it. 50-50 again. More votes. We're just getting 50-50. All right, we'll do questions for 2 minutes, and then we'll do the one that shows up there. Can we get more full PPR 10-man? I'm assuming that's talking about the mock draft Mondays. I think people prefer the 12-team ones. Basically, in 10-team, you're just getting a little bit of a stronger build. I can do more of the 10-team, but understand we're definitely doing more 12 teams. We're just going to do more 12 team drafts, but I'll try and do more 10 teams. Mike, sounds good. Wonderful. Helps you win multiple championships. Awesome. Is Madison worth a 10th round keeper? Yes. He's depending on, the exact format, he's roughly a 5th round pick. So yes, that's great. Obviously, I don't know what your other keepers are. But yeah, that's a very, very good keeper. You're getting 5 rounds of value there. Is 3 wide receiver, 1 flex, 10-man full PPR league. Would you rather get Cup, CD, McCaffrey, basically anyone available top 3 pick? If it's a full PPR, 3 wide receiver league, I would rather go with the wide receiver there and Cooper Kupp. So we're going to cut it off here. It looks like you guys voted for private draft. Sounds good to me. We will post that link in a second. It's been a few weeks since I did this, so I forget how to do it. We want the $3, not a 3, we want a 12-person fast. I believe it's this one right here. I think that's what we want. Hopefully it is. All right. Copy that, and we will paste it into here, and I'll give you guys 30 seconds to fill this. If we don't fill it, we're going to have to go on Twitter, go in the Discord, and get it in there. Hopefully you guys can fill it quickly. I turned down the latency like I did last week, so we're probably going to get fewer snipes. I mean, we're still going to get a ton of snipes because a lot of the people in here are going to be using the rankings, but we might get fewer than before because it's not like 20 seconds before like my pick goes in. All right, about 30 seconds have crossed, so we'll put this on Twitter. Join the draft on stream. All right, we're going to post the link to Twitter, and we'll get this one filled. Questions in the meantime. Can you do a breakdown of J.K. Dobbins, Sanders, Madison, Pierce? I mean, I'm assuming you want that for like one of the breakdown videos, not like live on stream, but I'll tell you off the top of my head, definitely like all of them. Yeah, that probably is a good one to do for one of the breakdown videos. This coming Thursday is going to be Garrett Wilson versus Jalen Waddle versus Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's going to be the players we're doing. I don't actually know. What do the rankings have for... We'll pull up Underdogs. This is just half PPR rankings. It would be Dobbins, Madison, Sanders, Pierce. I do think having Pierce last on that list kind of makes sense off the top of my head. Just, not a great offense for Houston. So kind of makes sense that, he's not going to have as much potential as like Dobbins, who I think, Baltimore can really have a great season this year. He's got a lot of touchdown upside. They're going to hopefully use the running backs a little more in the receiving game. Sanders, a little bit more reception upside potentially than Pierce. Madison, obviously the better offense. So I think it makes sense he'd be last. But yeah, that's definitely a good breakdown because they're all right there. But again, at least right now, Dobbins, Madison, Sanders, and Pierce, I think that makes sense in my head for how I would want to do it. Any other questions? Who is your most drafted player? I can find that. Why don't we do drafts over here? Pull up a new tab. So we'll go to just the Best Ball Mania drafts. I have done, actually you can do exposure and you can do $25 drafts. These are the quarterbacks that we're looking at. I end up with a ton of Kirk Cousins because he's just always like the last quarterback in that general range. I take a lot of, obviously if I ever get the 101, I'm taking Jefferson, stacking with Kirk Cousins. I take a lot of some Madison teams, some Hawkinson teams. And so I just like end up with him a lot. I like Addison. So just makes sense there. Surprised on Trevor Lawrence. I actually have Trevor Lawrence ranked a little bit behind ADP, but he falls a lot. So he's a quarterback that isn't like just always at his ADP. There are times where you get him like 20 spots behind his ADP. And it's kind of ridiculous there. Oh, I have to apply it. Okay. I was going to say, why is there 3 in here for that? I'm going to go over here 1 second. Okay. That's the exposure for quarterbacks, though. Running backs, yeah. So Deuce Vaughn was someone I was ending up with a lot originally in the later rounds. I've dropped him a little bit. I haven't been getting him as much recently, but I like Jerome Ford. I end up with Jonathan Taylor and Saquon like a lot in that second round, like because they've been slipping a lot, like the mid, even late second round. I think I got JT yesterday at like 22. Like they've been falling a lot. Fournette's kind of a pick I just make when it's like basically my last pick, and I'm like, well, maybe he'll sign somewhere. It's the same as Zeke, kind of 15%. Maybe he signs somewhere. But definitely like Gainwell, definitely Tyjae Spears, Tank Bigsby, Jerome Ford is like the later options there. Wide receiver, you guys know Marvin Mims is just like my favorite pick. He's gotten zero hype so far, which I'm very, very excited about. Once like training camp opens, I'm thinking he's going to get a lot of steam, could rise as much as like 2 rounds from where it's going right now. But right now, it's beautiful. Beautiful the value you're able to get with him. He's also like a big play threat. So even if he doesn't have like a true breakout season, he's going to have some really good games. Nathaniel Dell, I was higher on. I've dropped him in the rankings, and so I was at probably like 30-35%. He's been coming down. I'd expect him to get, closer into the teens there. I like Romeo Doubs. I think Debo's being undervalued. Down's another player that I was higher on, and I'm kind of dropped in the rankings recently. And then you all know Hawkinson, Waller, Andrews. Those are my favorite receivers. I don't get enough Pitts. Like I don't even see. Yeah, I have 7.5% Kyle Pitts. Only drafted him in 2 teams so far. I feel like I need to try and target him in a few. So the draft is open. Wonderful. Let's get over here. They're going to take Jefferson 1. If they don't, we'll take them. We will take Jamar Chase number 2. That is just how drafts open up. And then it kind of, it's like an opening move in chess. We know what the beginning is. We'll see what happens after that. Everyone's following basically exactly what we have in the rankings so far. You kind of get to this range, though, at 6. And it's like, do you take Eckler? Do you take Kelsey? Do you go with Diggs? I don't think people usually take Bijan over Eckler, but, do you go with Diggs and then, like, A.J. Brown after that? Like, a lot of question marks in that range, but it doesn't really matter what happens. There could be insane value in this whole range. We're taking our next pick at 23, so we just kind of have to wait and see what happens coming up here. Other keepers. Okay, so this is back to our person who said Madison in the 10th round. Other keeper potentials are Justin Jefferson in the 9th, which is obviously a way better value, or Josh Allen in the 11th, which is also a better value. So Jefferson 1, Allen 2, Madison 3 for how I would want to keep them. I don't know how deep your keeper league is if you are allowed to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I would order them. You love the draft strategy for each position video you posted a week ago. I might want to go wide receiver. I don't 100% know what that means. Might want to go wide receiver, but I'm glad you guys like the positional strategy videos. Pats don't use a bell cow running back. Stevenson became a bell cow due to Harris's injury. Bell cow. Do you think Stevenson is going too early, or do you believe he's actually going to be a bell cow this season? I think he's appropriately valued. I don't get a ton of him because I'm a few spots back, and whenever you're a few spots back in the early rounds, it plays in. But I do think he'll be a bell cow. Ty Montgomery could steal some third down. They like Kevin Harris, but he's purely an early down grinder that will mix in for maybe, if he's even active, 2 or 3 carries a game. Pierre Strong's been off and on with consistency. He hasn't been super consistent. They just don't have anyone else. So unless they bring in Zeke, they bring in Fournette. If that happens, obviously he will not be a bell cow. If that does not happen, I would fully expect Stevenson to get significant usage this season. Okay, we are up in about 4 picks here. We've got Jamar Chase. We'd love to go wide receiver here, but honestly, I like our spot because there's 1, 2. Okay, where everyone's going to pick here. There's 4 players that we wanted. No, wait, I hate when they do this. So they say you're up in 4 picks, but you're really up in 5 picks because 5 picks are going to happen, or 4 picks are going to happen, then it's you. So you're up in 5 picks. But I was going to say we had 4 players we really liked. I think I'm going to go Tony Pollard this pick. There's a clear drop-off into Metcalf at wide receiver. We're definitely not going with Mark Andrews. Pollard, definitely the best running back on the board. You can go quarterback, but these quarterbacks have been slipping. I tweeted that out the other day that their ADPs are definitely going down right now. Or I tweeted out today maybe even. Hold on, maybe I'll pull it up. I'll go to my account here. I was kind of hoping I could just scroll to it. Whatever. How bad am I at Twitter? My God. Okay. There we go. Well, I guess we probably don't need it to be that big. But yeah, their ADPs are definitely falling. We were up here in May and they were going in this 18, 19, 20 range. And they're all down here, Josh Allen going closer to 28. Oh my God, I'm on the clock. Forgot about that. Apologies. We were at 25. Maybe we'll take Stevenson. I haven't gotten a lot of them. I don't want that. I don't think I want one of the quarterbacks. I don't have a stacking partner. Yeah, why don't we take Stevenson? We were talking about him earlier. Again, I have him ranked very close to ADP. I don't end up with him a lot because he goes kind of right at his ADP. He does not typically fall in drafts. He goes in this general range. But yeah, just bringing this up. the quarterbacks are falling. And so whenever you've got these positions kind of moving down, you want to be getting them at a value. And at that, what was I at? 23 pick. It wasn't really getting anyone at like a significant discount. So, all right. We almost missed our pick. That could have been bad. But we've got Jamar Chase. We got Tony Pollard and Stevenson. So we're locked into two really good early running backs. Definitely risky running backs, two that could see some people added to the backfield. But if that doesn't happen, like let's say Pollard and Stevenson enter with the exact same depth chart they have right now, they'll both be worth like early second round picks. So fingers crossed, right, for those two. 12-team PPR, 2 keeper league, 2 flex spots. You're keeping Jefferson in round 1. Would you keep Chubb in round 3, Josh Allen in the 4th, or Rachaad White in the 8th? Ugh. So Chubb in round 3 is like, depending on where you get in round 3, it's roughly like on average, I would say maybe a little over half a round of value, maybe like 3/4 of a round of value, but an early round. Josh Allen in the 4th, basically the same thing. So the lean is probably Chubb since earlier value is better. Rachaad White in the 8th, I'd probably just keep Chubb, especially because we just know with Chubb, we know that he's going to have a very large workload. He's not going to get overtaken. It's going to be a very good offense, plenty of touchdowns. Yeah, I'd probably go with Chubb. Backup would probably be Josh Allen if you didn't like that answer. Biggest steals at current ADP. Scroll down. Maybe Paris Campbell for wide receiver. Jalen Warren, Tank Bigsby, Jerome Ford, Spears, Gainwell for running back. Quarterback, I wouldn't say there's any steals. Everyone's pretty appropriately priced. I don't even think I can name one. Everyone's correctly priced at quarterback. Steals for tight end, there's probably not any there either, to be completely honest. Tight end and quarterback are pretty much where they should be at. I mean, those ADPs all make a lot of sense to me. Okay, at our 47 pick, we're definitely going with the wide receiver. I mean, at running back, no one's an ADP value, and we already have 2. That would make no sense for us to do. Hawkinson would be a slight reach at an ADP that's going to be dropping just a little bit. That would make much sense. Quarterback, you consider Justin Fields, but why reach, especially when this guy already has 2 quarterbacks? I would say overwhelmingly likely outcome here is that we take 2 wide receivers, but we'll see. I would take Hopkins, McLaurin, Moore, Godwin, Ayuk, Christian Kirk. Yeah, we're just going to end up taking 2 of these at this pick here, and we will be able to do it. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'll just take Hopkins. Maybe he'll join the Patriots, and I'll be able to root for him this season. Maybe that's something we can do. We'll keep that in our noggin. If right now it's looking most likely that Hopkins goes to New England, well, maybe we should take Mac Jones late in this draft. Stevenson, Hopkins, Mac Jones. A little bit of a stack there. And then we'll just take DJ Moore. Okay. I think that worked out really well for us. We got value with both of our wide receiver picks, and it was the position that we needed. It's always nice when it works out that way, right? It's nice to get value, but it's even better to get value when we're going into that round like, hey, we only have 1 wide receiver in a format that very heavily wants us to draft wide receivers. Chase, Hopkins, Moore, feel very confident in their roles. Pollard, Stevenson. All right, we're looking good. We definitely need to make some stacks, though. What do you think about trading Najee 205, 502 for CD 302? I mean, I can't do that math off the top of my head. Also, are we in a dynasty league? Let me know that. Whoever asked that question, I need to know if we're in a dynasty league. Are those dynasty startup, or are we in a redraft league and that's the redraft pick and you're looking like a keeper league? Like what is this? What league are we in? Are the Diggs, Tyreek Hill situations enough to dissuade you from drafting them in the first round? No. Especially Diggs. I mean, come on, like nothing's gonna happen there. He's upset that he's not more part of the play calling. You know how easy that is to fix? You throw him the football. You know, you give him a few plays. You let him talk about what plays he wants a little bit. It's a very easy solution to fix. And he's a good player. It's not like a bad player complaining, you know, trying to get more targets. So no concerns there. Tyreek Hill, I guess, is slightly more concerning because you just don't know what the league will do. The league is like, you know, who knows? Who knows what is going through Roger Goodell's head at any moment in time? So he could come down and be like, "We're setting an example," and you're like, "What? About what? Like, what is this?" You know. But I would say, no, I have not adjusted the rankings at all. Keep drafting them. Where are we going? We got clarification on the question we were doing a second ago. Keeper, so basically redraft. 16-team keeper. Both CD and Najee are first-round keepers. You have 4 first in total. Okay, so you're effectively okay. The picks aren't even that different because in one of them, I wouldn't even factor the picks in that much. I would say I'd rather the CD 302 and 703. You get the much better player. Like I would just much prefer CD over Najee. You're only moving back. I mean, you're moving back like a good amount, but it's less than a round. You're moving back from 2 to 3. And then I guess you're moving back in both 5 to 7 as well. Oh, that's kind of tough. I want to stick with my answer. CD to 302 and 503, but it's much closer than initially thought. You had a chance to get Diggs, Hill, Kelsey, and Best Ball Mania. You Diggs. Oh, to get Diggs, Hill, Kelsey, and you went Kelsey. No, I think that's fine. They're all so even. It really just comes down to what type of build you want. Okay, we're up at 6'11". 71st pick in the rankings. Wide receivers are dominating this area. We do not have any stacks for Trevor Lawrence, so we won't go there. We'll just queue up one player just in case, although it wouldn't have mattered. No, we're not going to do tight end here. Running backs. Nah, there's no running backs I want. We'll probably just end up double dipping at we'll probably just end up double dipping at wide receiver again. Create just like a very strong core of wide receiver. And then we'll probably have to go back to other positions. Because, there's no one else. I'd love Burks with this pick. I guess you could consider Trevor Lawrence because I guess we could get Evan Ingram at 97. We have picks 95 and 98. I don't know. I feel like I'd rather... No, I feel like I'd rather Burks. Let's just take Burks. If Burks had been taken, I probably would have leaned Trevor Lawrence over like taking Brandon Cooks or Elijah Moore. I think you could have gone either way. You could have gone either way with that one. And if I had Ridley, let's say, I would have taken Trevor Lawrence there. Think Charbonnet can be this year's Ken Walker? Sure. If Ken Walker gets injured, then Charbonnet could be this year's Ken Walker. Because remember, that's the only reason that Ken Walker broke out really when he did last season. Penny was awesome. Penny was fantastic. Penny was a clear one. Penny was not going away. And then broke his leg. He broke his fibula. I don't remember what he broke. But he got hurt like he always does. And then Ken Walker steps up. And then they had Travis Homer got hurt and DJ Dallas got hurt. And then it's like Ken Walker's the only like breathing running back on the roster. So, that's why he broke out. Now I love Ken Walker. He's a very good running back. But that's what it would take for Charbonnet to break out. Like Ken Walker's still the one. I love Charbonnet though. I was very upset that he got drafted to like Seattle because so many other teams. I mean, there's actually very few good landing spots this season, but a lot of other teams could have given him a better chance to be the running back one. But yeah, again, it's going to take an injury. I think Charbonnet is really good. So if there is an injury, all in on Charbonnet. He's going to be awesome. You were hoping you said Chubb. Nice. Big Browns fan. Yeah, if you're a Browns fan, you got to go with Chubb with that pick. Most important draft strategies to keep in mind this year to apply in all drafting positions. You don't know your draft position until just before draft starts. That's in my league too. So in our league, it's out of a hat. If I pick one, it means I get to pick my pick first. I don't get the 101. If I want the fourth pick, I get to pick it first. So what's the most important draft strategies to keep in mind? That's a great question. Great question. So yeah, so what should we be thinking about when we're entering, or this is for a redraft league, of course, this question. What should we be thinking about when we are going into that, just in like the back of our minds, like what strategies could we implement because we don't know our spot. Hero RB is number one. If you get into a position where you take someone like McCaffrey, Eckler, Bijan in the first round, and you get to all these other picks, and like running back is like fine, but you're not in love with them. Don't be afraid to only take one running back in round one, no running backs in rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then after that circle back, because there are actually some like really good like round 6, 7, 8 running backs that have like high upside, lower floors, but higher upside this season. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind, again, 2 running backs in the first 5 rounds is optimal. So if you miss out, let's say on that first round running back, if you wanted to take one in like round 2, one in round 4, that's totally fine to do. If you are in a league, I guess you didn't say, at least I don't think you did. If it's a full PPR league, full PPR, keep in mind that you can go. I'll pull up the draft board after this one. I apologize for having that one though. If you're in a full PPR league, especially if you can start, 4 wide receivers, think about RB0. If you can start 4 wide receivers, think, just about hammering the wide receiver position, kind of laying back on that running back spot. But I would say those are like the things to generally keep in mind. Keep in mind quarterback, in the early to mid rounds is typically ideal. Maybe targeting a stud tight end, not necessarily Kelsey, but one of the ones we like, Andrews, Hawkinson, Waller, things like that. Pick 95. So we could have gone with that stack. Quarterback's a no-go. I would take Ingram if I had the stack. Not going to do it. Running back, nah. Not in love with any of that. Well, I guess we will keep attacking the wide receiver position for now. You guys are taking a lot of, you're taking like basically not wide receiver positions very early. I will take Jameson Williams with this next one, but I probably won't take another running back. So I'd take Williams. I would take James Cook. Would I take a quarterback here? Do I even have a stacking partner that I could do? I guess Dak to stack with Tony Pollard wouldn't be a bad option. And then I could maybe go after Gallup after this. This dude have 1 million running backs? Oh, only 4. Okay, never mind. I apologize. To be honest, Jameson Williams probably does not help my team as much as taking a quarterback here. So let's do that. Let's take Dak. I hate reaching on quarterback, but it's only 4 spots. But take Prescott. We've stacked him with Tony Pollard. I wish I could remember off the top of my head. Oh, it doesn't matter. Week 17 stacks don't matter because we're on 12-teamer here. But yeah, we've got that stack, and it'd be nice to add on Gallup a little bit later. Like Jameson Williams, but yeah, we didn't really need him. I mean, we had a lot of wide receivers already. Oh, it is a 3 wide receiver. Oh wait, is it a different one? Yeah, it's a different question. I apologize. 12-man PPR keeper. You have Jefferson in the 11th. 5th round, would you take a running back or wide receiver with the 5th pick in the first round? Would you take a running back or wide receiver? Taylor, Barkley, Kelsey, Brown, or Diggs? I would just go with rankings. I know you already have Jefferson, but just treat that as just a luxury that you have. Whatever the ranking set that you're using say, overwhelmingly likely your rankings are going to tell you that the option is not Barkley or JT. Go with Diggs, Brown, or Kelsey. Especially, yeah, if it's a 3 wide receiver league. Honestly, just go with your favorite between Diggs and A.J. Brown. I'd probably go with Diggs. Diggs or A.J. Brown with that pick. Because you can start 3 wide receivers. If you have a flex, you can start the 4th one too. Ooh, a report just came out that Miami offered Dalvin Cook a contract. Do we believe random man in the YouTube comment section? Let's see. I do not see that report. Personally, we'll search them. Let's see. Is this a legit report? All right. Yeah, a little bit. Okay, they have made an offer, so it just wasn't like a mutual interest, perfect fit. All right. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. So I guess they did make him an offer, but we don't know how much the we don't know how much the offer is yet. That's been basically the indication so far, is that that's where he wants to go. The team is willing to offer him a contract. The question has always come down to, will they be willing to offer him enough of a contract to where he's okay with it? Because I don't think they're going to give him exactly what he wants. He's going to have to take a little bit less to play there because they don't need him. They have A-Chain, they have Mostert, they have Jeff Wilson. Like, they know that they're good enough to win with those running backs. I think they also know, well, it's not like it'd be a bad thing to upgrade Jeff Wilson into Dalvin Cook, right? Like, and he would honestly fit that offense so beautifully. So it would be fantastic for him. It'd be very bad for everyone else. We've obviously not been drafting anyone other than A-Chain, but A-Chain goes still late enough. He goes in this general range of like 120, where even if you had some shares at him at 120, I think that's completely fine. Because like, it's not like Dalvin Cook's going to be the feature running back. And you don't actually need that many touches in the Miami backfield to be like productive. He's a very explosive running back, which is good for Underdog. So his ADP will drop. It'll probably drop A-Chain to like 140. He's going to go in that same range as like Tank Bigsby probably. But I'm probably still going to like him, for being honest. But with that report that came out, let's maybe not do A-Chain with this pick. Ugh. This is a disgusting range for running back. Like, you just don't want to draft a running back in this general range. Do Cousins. Again, like I said, I end up with a lot of Cousins because of this. Cousins just always falls a little bit, and he's always at a spot where I want to grab him here. I don't have a stacking partner, which kind of stinks. Wouldn't mind Odell with this pick, but we already have the wide receivers. We're not going to reach for a tight end here. There's no way. So Cousins or Odell? Who fits our team better? Week 7 bye, so we're fine there. I mean, our team probably doesn't need Odell. All right, let's take Cousins. Because also, this guy took Jefferson at 1. We don't want to give him that. We don't want to give him Jefferson Cousins. That'd be too good of a start. Oh, he would have had Jefferson and Hawkinson and Cousins. Oh, he's furious. He's got to be so upset right now. Yikes. All right, he took Odell. It's probably a spite pick too. Oh, wait, we need to figure our next pick. I was going for the next question. Yeah, A-Chain would be a great pick here if... and I love Warren and Bigsby, but they're not going to be there in the next pick. 43, 46. They're not going to be there. I might have to just take Jaylen Warren. Oh, there you are. Yeah, he's... I had to do it, though. You know, I could not let you... Because that's a fantastic stack. Having Cousins, Jefferson, Hawkinson is so insane. There's so many weeks you're going to get spike performances from that. So I can't allow someone in the league to have that. They'll beat me. I like how this draft is going. Dak and Cousins is like a really strong combo. We didn't spend that much at quarterback, but we got really good results there. Pollard, Stevenson, Warren. We're going to need help at running back. And I definitely reached on Warren, but it was just like we had to do it. We had to get someone that we feel okay about. Love the wide receivers so far. Chase, Hopkins, Moore, Tony, Burke, Sutton. Given how we started that, we're probably going to end up with at least 8. You really always want to have at least 8 wide receivers in this format. But with Chase first, I think we'll stop at 8. I think we'll do 8 wide receivers, which means we have 2 more rounds for wide receiver. We're going to need at least minimum of 2 more running backs. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. We're at 4 at 170. Ugh. We're going to have to go with 3 tight ends too. So we're probably going to have to make this a 2-5-8-3 build. Because we're at this point, we need to draft 3 tight ends at this point. Like if our first one's coming in what's going to be the late 12th round, we're going to need 3 tight ends. I'm actually doing that. So I'm running Sims right now, and I'm going to do some like data stuff for one of the Sunday videos. So the Sunday video, I talk about draft strategy for Underdog. What I want to do in one of them is answer these questions. Like, given I've done this at tight end, how many tight ends should I draft? Given I did this at quarterback, how many should I draft? Given I did this at this, like given those sorts of things, just to like have very quick recall in these drafts so that we know, okay, remember that if I drafted my first tight end after the 9th round, I should take 3. And I don't know what the answer is yet. Like I'm still running the simulations. I haven't like checked everything yet. But I want to have quick answers like that to know, oh, I took one in the 7th round. I only need 2. Or is 8th round the cutoff? Like what is the cutoff for drafting 3? Same thing with quarterback. If I started off with 2 running backs, how many should I take? Like just easy questions like that. I want to like have answered in that video. So it's not going to be necessarily a specific strategy. Will the stream be uploaded once completed? Yeah, I think it goes live immediately. I don't think you find it under normal uploads. I think there's like a live, I don't know, section tab on the site. But yeah, once it's done, it'll go there. You're in a Superflex keeper league. You can keep Devonta Smith or Chris Olave. You have 11-12. Also have an option of Deshaun Watson in the 12th. Oh, in the 11-12. Okay, so Devonta Smith in the 11th. Well, I think Olave is a better receiver, and you get him in the 12th. So definitely need that one. Oh, it's Superflex. Oh. I don't know. I'm going to pull up the Superflex rankings and tell you the answer real quick. Thinking also, just off the top of my head, I feel like we got to go running back with this pick coming up. Okay, rankings. We're doing PPR Superflex, but I can't imagine it'll be too much different. I just want to see who between Olave and... Oh, come on. Okay, so I have Deshaun Watson, 0.1 value ahead of Chris Olave. So whoever you feel better about, whichever you feel better about between those 2 players, keep those 2. Uh-oh. We can't do running back. I guess we could do Roshan. We could do Roshan and hope that he beats out... I mean, it's going to be a rotation anyways, but I hope he kind of beats out Khalil Herbert. Oh, I thought I had Fields for a second. Ugh, God. But it's still the same thing, but... Not good. We're not in a good spot. I don't think we go wide receiver here. Nothing screams out to me that's like a great pick. We should take our first tight end. Dulcich. We should do that. Because again, we need 3 of them, so. Can we see a breakdown video for Charbonnet, A-Chain, Penny, P. Ryan, and Herbert? Well, no, not all those. Hold on. We got to do the stack, right? Oh my God. Why do I keep thinking I have like different quarterbacks than I do? Huh. Yeah, I think we just go Roshan. I know he's not high here in the rankings, but I don't love that pick. But I didn't want a wide receiver. I wasn't going to do one of those. The tight ends, I guess I could have gone with Irv. Maybe I should have gone with Irv Smith. I don't know. I didn't love that. We're obviously not going with quarterback. It was either Irv Smith or Roshan. I just needed something. I need some sort of upside with these running back picks. And like maybe Roshan can like overtake Khalil Herbert, can be the 1A, can get some receptions. I don't know. We need something. Although I guess having Pollard Stevenson's fine. And if we're only doing 5, we only need 1 more. So we're not too bad at the running back position. Bring this back up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks left. 2 wide receivers, one running back, two tight ends. And since we're drafting 3, I think I want to get value at these tight end spots. I think we can, but you guys have been gobbling up the tight ends this draft. Only losers draft Gainwell. I mean, I'd be shocked if Gainwell didn't get like a lot of steam in like the summer. I think he's going to be used a lot more than people think. You just traded Najee away for Elijah Moore and the 112. I guess that's a rookie draft. Oh, yeah, it's great. That's great. So you got the 112 in a rookie draft plus Elijah Moore to get rid of a Najee. I think that's great value. Ramondre top 10 this season. For running backs, again, if they don't sign anyone, they don't bring in, and honestly, it's really just Kareem Hunt, Leonard Fournette, and Zeke. If they don't sign one of them, my guess is that he would finish top 10. They just don't have anyone else. He would have to get hurt for that to not happen. So if you don't think that happens, which, do we really think the Patriots are going to sign a running back and give running back a bunch of money? Probably not. So maybe I'm a little bit too low. I mean, I just drafted him, so I can't be that low on him. But yeah, we got a super chat from a bunch of numbers. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, the stream will be uploaded. Rank the scoring format for leagues. Love it. I prefer half, then full, then standard. I do completely understand the people that don't like standard scoring because you get that like half point or a full point for a 0-yard reception and it makes no sense. I get that. The goal is more to even out scoring. In a standard scoring format, running backs are so overpowered when in reality, it's not an overpowered position for football. And it's like you need the best running backs in a standard scoring format to produce. And so I understand the argument of saying you don't like how it gives an extra point for like meaningless catches, but it's just to balance things out. Like wide receivers are worthless. All of them are just completely worthless in a standard scoring format. And that makes no sense. They're not actually worthless in the NFL. It overpowers quarterback because they score so many more points than everyone. Like it makes late round tight ends useless. Like you're 4 for 40 getting you 4 points. Like who cares? Take a 0 at tight end. Like it doesn't even matter. Like I like half. I think it's a good mixture of everything, but PPR is still better than standard. Okay. Would not be bad for us to double dip at tight end here. We have the round 9 bye, so we need to be careful, but since we're drafting 3, the odds are, even if we took like Laporta with this pick, we'll be able to find a tight end that doesn't have a round 9 bye, so we'll be fine there. But I wouldn't be against going with both of these two if we can get them both. Running back, wouldn't be a bad idea for us to go with Gainwell and finish things off, but I think we could also get someone else. I'm just a little hesitant. Okay. So Gainwell also is an option. I don't think we need to go with wide receiver here. And we're not going quarterback. Okay. I think this is what we want to do. We want Laporta. And again, we're drafting another one, so it's okay. And also, I've kind of come to the thinking that if you have 2 at the round 9 bye, who cares? I mean, realistically, yes, I'm taking a 0 in that round. But what? I draft another one, and I'm hoping they score 5 to 7 points. Like, now I am drafting another one, but had I only wanted to draft 2, I don't think you should go with a suboptimal build just so you can fit in, hopefully, a few points in that one bye week. Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me. Yeah, let's take Gainwell. I like how this is coming together. We are done quarterback, Dak and Kirk Cousins. We are done running back, Pollard, Stevenson, Warren, Roschon, and Gainwell. It's our weakest position, but it's a position you can be weakest at and still get by. And if we get both these two as studs, we don't care that much. Wide receiver, we're starting to fall off a little bit. Again, we're going to attack that with volume. We've got a great core there. We'll just take 2 explosive players. I want only explosiveness. with these last two. And then we'll have one more pick. We'll take a tight end in the last three. So we're doing good. Any good resources for dynasty startup auction drafts? Ugh. I don't even know. I have no idea. I mean, obviously I have the rankings for dynasty startup, but not for auction. Assuming it's honestly though, no, I couldn't do that. I could probably put something together for auction. Like, so the auction values in the current rankings right now, you see them on like the normal rankings tab. They are based off of value. So as value changes, that changes everything. I don't have that. I don't know. I would check if Fantasy Pros has something, but I don't actually know any. Oh, so like a recommended max bid for certain players. Ugh. I mean, the nominating strategy for me is always just like nominate the players you don't want, especially expensive players early. You want to eat at people's budget. So if you hate, I don't know, Christian McCaffrey, you hate him, nominate him immediately, because some people don't. That's when they have their most money and they're going to pay a bunch of money for him. So never, ever nominate someone you want. Always let the people you want kind of go towards the end. Thoughts on late quarterbacks? Purdy's been the favorite take late so far. Purdy's definitely the best option. Oh, I thought we were going to take Mac Jones. Whoops. Yeah, we were going to take Mac Jones in this build, but is what it is. But yeah, Purdy, Garoppolo, Mac Jones, Ritter. Everyone else has so many question marks. Tannehill, if you're feeling risky, you think your Tannehill to Traylon Burks stack can work out. If you could do like a Tannehill, Burks, Chig stack, that'd be kind of sweet. But I'm not in love with the rookies. We don't know if Sam Howell's going to be the quarterback all season. We don't know if Baker's going to be the quarterback all season. Same with Brissett. I'm not going with these backup 49ers. So yeah, it's Purdy, Garoppolo, Mac Jones. That's what I target late. Standard in 2023 is archaic. It is, but people still play it. New to fantasy. How do you adjust your strategy as the number of managers in a league increases? 18-man PPR league this year. Good luck. It is rough out there. I do a 16-team league each year, and it dries up. Just be careful. That's what I would say. Especially at like the running back position, there's a lot of picks that go by, and there's some huge runs. And when it dries up, it dries up. Like in the later rounds, nothing's left. So don't like be like, oh, you know, I'll figure out this position later on. I would try your best to build very evenly, like just not get screwed at a position and be like, oh, I have like one running back, and the best running back on the board is Pierre Strong. Like you're in a bad situation at that point. That's unfortunate. We've entered the gross range for wide receiver when we need two of them. Who's got upside? Maybe we just take our tight end because we don't care. Yeah. Round 9. So let's just take I've been leaning Gesicki a little bit over Hayden Hurst, just because I think the Patriots might feature him as like a wide receiver at times in the offense. Seems like they're involving him heavily. I might move him higher in the rankings now. But yeah, I feel like, because I'm pretty sure none of these wide receivers are going to go anyways. So, and we don't care about value at this point. We're in round 17, 18. Who cares? Are there any stacks we can create? Do we have anyone with Minnesota? We don't. I mean, there's no real wide receivers. There is one wide receiver that is a Best Ball Mania pick for sure. I've been leaning Puka. I've been leaning Marvin Jones if I drafted Goff. Minnesota and Dallas just aren't up here. All right, let's take Puka. There's just so much opportunity on the Rams that, I mean, he could realistically finish the season as their wide receiver 2. You can't really say that about many players here. And for New England, I'm just concerned with Hopkins going there. Like if Hopkins is going to go there, you can't really draft Devonta Parker. So just that risk there, I don't really want to take that. So We'll do one more wide receiver after this round here. But yeah, so okay, to go back to that question. In 18, it's like there's going to be quarterback runs as well, like just weird ones because everyone's going to want to back up and there's only so many starters. And so if you think you can hold off on quarterback, just make sure the first quarterback you draft is not Jacoby Brissett. Like it's just, and that's going to push everyone forward. People are going to see them going off the board and they're going to be like, oh no. So don't let quarterback go away. Don't let running back go away. Wide receiver, there's always options. There's always a wide receiver. Maybe you'll be kind of searching for scraps, but there'll always be someone, whereas there's not at those other two positions. So quarterback and running back, lean towards those two. I would say tight end as well is a position where like you can let a lot of tight ends go and you're still in a range that's fine. Like a lot of the late tight ends, you're praying for like 6 touchdowns anyways. So I would push tight end away. I would push wide receiver away. We still want good ones, but push it away. Get some running backs and quarterbacks on your team. Quarterback wouldn't be as valuable in an 18-man league. It's just because of what I said. So to a degree, yes, like who really cares the difference between your quarterback like 12 and 16, 17, 18, like, but just because if you wait too long and the teams that drafted Dak are like, well, I'd also like to have Purdy. I'd also like to have Mac Jones. You start seeing those go away and you can't be going up against all these quarterbacks and have literally a backup. Like you can't do that. There's only so many starters and people will take backups. If you have Herbert in a keeper league, should you draft Keenan Allen or T. Higgins? It'd be a 1-year rental. No. Draft by the rankings there, which say T. Higgins. I don't care about the stack in like a redraft league there, unless you're in a keeper best ball league. But another keeper. You guys are in a lot of keeper leagues. My goodness. 12-team, half PPR keeper league. 3 wide receiver, 2 flex. Woo. A lot of wide receivers you can keep there or start there. Do you keep Jalen Hurts in the 4th or Drake London in the 8th? London. Just because, boy, would I want to hammer a wide receiver. Like I wouldn't even care if you drafted 5 straight wide receivers because you can start all 5. There are 5 bye weeks now. There are 5 players with injury risk. Like just every wide receiver potential you add to that team, and wide receiver is so much easier to predict, like season long, maybe not weekly, but season long. Yeah, I'd want to go heavy at wide receiver in a league like that, even half PPR. I think I've answered all the questions. So pat on the back for that one. You started strong, then panicked at quarterback. I guess I don't know what you're talking about there. But I answered all the questions, and that is a good one here. 30 likes. We've had 476 total people in here. 72 of you right now. Let's get it to 40. 10 of you. I want 10 of the 72 of you to hit the like button. Thoughts on your team? Yep. I don't know if I can say your team name out loud. I don't want to get demonetized. Okay. Beautiful start. A.J. Brown, Devonta Adams, Amari Cooper. Love it. Najee, Ken Walker, Madison. I'm not a huge fan of Najee and Ken Walker. Those are fine values. I'm more not of a fan of Ken Walker, to be honest. But that's a fine start. Watson to pair with Amari. Great. And Elijah Moore. Beautiful. Wilson to pair with my boy Mims. Awesome. I like this team. Elijah Moore, Mims. Who's your other tight end? So you have Conklin and Pat. I guess my only thing, where's your team? Hold on. Let me make my pick first. I've also been drafting Michael Wilson. I think by the end of the season, he could, let's do this. I think by the end of the season, Michael Wilson could also be like a very heavy weapon for Arizona, and that would be when Kyler's coming back. So you drafted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wide receivers, 1, 2, 5 running backs, the 2 quarterbacks. I'm just trying to think where you could have gotten a third tight end. Yeah, maybe you don't need that third tight end. Okay, 2. 2 is fine. I was just saying Conklin because I don't feel like super confident in Conklin. And I think Pat's fine, but I don't see a huge ceiling with them. There was a report they thought he could get like 100 receptions. I don't think that's happening. But that's a good pick. Thoughts on your team? Clearable. Okay. Last team. Okay. So we got the 12 pick here. Wide receivers, Wilson, Keenan Allen, JSN, Pittman, Shaheed, DPJ, Wandale. I don't have any problems with that. 4, 5, 6. So 7 wide receivers. One thing I'm thinking is maybe one more wide receiver. I think 7, having only drafted 1 in the first 3 rounds, maybe would have used, let's see, Saquon, Gibbs, Penny, Miller. No, you kind of needed that pick for Zamir White for the 5th. That's tough. I think because you drafted these 3, yeah, it makes you a little weaker at wide receiver. I think you reached a little bit too much. You reached on Geno to stack with JSN. You could have gotten Geno probably at the Rodgers pick. You reached on Tua, but you didn't stack him with anyone, right? You didn't stack him with any of those wide receivers. I would understand if you took Garrett Wilson or Tyreek Hill. So I think one of these 2 picks should have been like wide receiver. Like your team would have been better if you took like Brandon Cooks instead of Geno here, because you can get by with, you know, Aaron Rodgers and Tua, but Brandon Cooks would have helped a lot more at wide receiver. Number 9, pretty different than the norm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. CeeDee Lamb, Deebo Samuel, and then a ways off. Gallup, okay. Collins, MVS, but okay. I think the wide receivers themselves are fine. You have 8 of them. JT, ETN, Dobbins. I think you just took a little bit too many running backs there. JT, ETN, Dobbins, Dalvin, Montgomery. Like you have 5 in a very quick span. I guess you didn't draft any more, which is fine. Yeah, and you got decent value for them. So, okay, I can understand it. Kittle and Njoku. You got 3. I feel like instead of Trey Lance here, I would have taken another wide receiver. Like, there's no way I feel confident in Slayton. Shakir, I mean, Trent Sherfield's been having a good camp, so we don't know about that situation. Campbell is a good pick, definitely, but limited upside. MVS, I just don't think he's a good player. And so you start scrolling through, and like, I know you have CD and Debo, which are both good picks there. I just feel like grabbing one more. Whether Hardman, like, you know, grab Mecole Hardman, Nathaniel Dell, Corey Davis, you know, my Michael Wilson I picked. Like any of those players, just like a few weeks are going to help you a little bit more. I don't know that Trey Lance sees the field this year. And if he does, he still might not outproduce Daniel Jones and Dak Prescott or Derek Carr. So I think that was the only pick I would have changed. Just you went for a long time without drafting that second wide receiver. I would have liked that a little bit earlier, I think. Helping me profit every year on Underdog, you the man? Of course. And if you guys want to join Underdog, join these drafts, do drafts on your own. So one thing, I don't really suggest doing these as much. You can sprinkle them in here and there. I would suggest doing like, you know, the Puppy, the Pomeranian, all those little like small, you know, $3, $4, $5 ones. Especially if you only have like $100 for the whole summer, do not join Best Ball Mania 4. I know that's not what I'm like supposed to say. We're supposed to be, you know, hyping up Best Ball Mania 4. But you want to basically do as many. So like if you have $100, like let's say you put in $50 with the promo code FFA, right? Now you have $100 because they doubled your deposit if you use that promo code. You also have access to my rankings, my articles, all that stuff, right? Don't do only 4 Best Ball Mania drafts because you can't really take advantage of the rankings. You can't take advantage of the strategies, all that stuff, because you only have 4 chances. Do 20 puppy drafts. Now you have a whole portfolio of 20 different combinations, 20 different stacks, all that sort of thing. And you're probably going to have some teams in advance. It just helps you on later on. Again, do Best Ball Mania 4 if you've got like more in it. If you only have like $100, I would stick to the puppy drafts, which are still, you know, a ton of prize money at the top. But yeah, sign up promo code FFA. This is sponsored by Underdog. Do you care about all about having the lowest projected team? No, I don't know how they do the projections, but I know that to get the highest projected team, you need to draft 3 quarterbacks, which most of the time is suboptimal. So it's hard for me to trust their projection system when something that's suboptimal is what you need to do to get the highest projection. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Also, we don't always care, especially in like a Best Ball Mania, a puppy team. I don't need the highest projection. What I want is a unique build that can win it at the end. I don't care if I'm dominating. Like, of course, I'd like to be the highest scoring team among the whole season and win like $500,000, right? But it's probably not going to happen. So what I care about is if I can advance on this team, because if my projection is a little bit lower, like advancement rate is still going to be roughly even. If I can advance on that team, how can it set me up in the later rounds to really help? And that's why 3 quarterback teams aren't great, because 3 quarterback teams are not great setups once you advance. Unless there's some unique build. So let's just go back to this team here, and then I will rate LeBron turkeys over here. Let's pretend this guy actually got like better value. Let's move Geno down. Let's move Tua down. One thing that could happen is like Tua could get hurt. Tua could get a concussion in week 1, miss the entire season, but then show up late, right? They're going for the playoffs. He shows up in week 14. Everyone that drafted Tua is not going to be advancing, but you now have Rodgers and Geno. So it's unique builds like that, where if you do 3 quarterbacks, you want, honestly, it's weird to say, but you almost want one of them to miss the entire season. It's the same thing with like I have a build going on right now that has, I think it has Kelsey, Andrews, and Hawkinson. I took all 3, all at a discount in draft. Because I honestly want one of them in that build to miss the whole season, for me to have 2 stud ones, no one else, maybe all their tight ends stink this year. I advance. No one else has the one that got hurt. He's got like a 1% advancement rate, but they come back at the end of the season and I win $2 million. That's the thought process there. Okay, we're going to rate this team and then we're going to hop on out of here. Oh, it's a Kelsey build. Nice. So you took Kelsey and Irv Smith. That's great. Olave, Metcalf, Quentin Johnston, Michael Thomas, Tyler Boyd. Do you have... Okay, the one thing with Tyler Boyd, I would probably only do that in a Cincy stack. He just doesn't have a huge weekly upside. He doesn't have a huge season-long upside because even with injuries, he hasn't produced like high in the past. So I don't love him. You just missed out on Williams there. I know that's a really, really difficult range. I don't know. I just don't. That's one pick I don't love. But yeah, Olave, Metcalf, Johnston, Thomas, Boyd, Zay Flowers, Thornton. I don't have any problems with that. I'm not in love with Thornton either if Hopkins is going to go there. Better pick if he doesn't. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wide receivers. Okay. Quarterback, Herbert, and Kyler. That's too early for Kyler in my opinion, especially if you're not going to stack. If you had like James Conner and Marquise Brown, or you had Marquise Brown and Rondale, sure, I'm not going with the naked Kyler Murray. Because if he comes back, all those guys are great picks, and now you don't have them. Running backs, Mixon, Pierce, Herbert, Gus, Fournette, Hunt, love it. I think that's great. That's a really strong core of 6. Yeah, that's really my only... I didn't have very many things to say badly about that. I don't love the Kyler pick. Thornton is a fine pick. I will say this. See, this is what it puts you into, right? You have 3 quarterbacks now taking Herbert early, so that's suboptimal. You have Desmond Ridder not stacked. You have Kyler not stacked, and you only have 7 wide receivers. You want 8 optimally. So I think change Ridder to a wide receiver, and we're looking much better in that build. But also, you did that because you took Kyler. That's why I don't like taking Kyler. He forces you to do something else. Take someone else with that pick. Okay. Osborne was a spike pick. Okay. That'll do it for this one. Tomorrow is some sort of redraft video. I don't remember what it is. I think it's a strategy video for early first round picks. So if your picks 1 through 4, best strategies for that. We've got that breakdown on Thursday and then the machine learning video for running backs on Friday. So I will catch you guys on the next Tuesday live stream, 6:30. But until then, thanks for watching.